Now I've created all the luminosity mask selections and a hard selection. And what I'm going to do now is going to remove all those selections that I've just created. But first, of course, I've made sure that I've saved the original color file with all the selections. And then I'm going to convert this color image into three separate black and white versions. One is a neutral version, a neutral black and white version, an underexposed version, and an overexposed version. So I can combine those three files inside my speed workflow and try to have a complete tonal range in my image, and I can basically do anything with my image in order to achieve a specific result just by using these three different black and white versions and including the luminosity mask and hard selections. And the reason that I'm going to remove all those selections that I've just created and before I'm going to convert it to black and white is that I can save a lot of disk space by doing that, because the thing is, if you would look at all those selections that I've created in here, it can take up a lot of disk space on your computer. But what's worse is that it can decrease the performance of your computer quite considerably. So, and that's something that you don't want to have, especially when you're working with larger files. A file like this, for example, that is something like, I think it's a 30 megapixel file. So that's going to take up a lot of disk space, and it's going to take up a lot of the resource on your computer. So I prefer to remove all those selections then before I'm going to convert it to black and white. So I'm going to remove all the selections in here. Just going to select them all. So I'm going to select them all. And okay, up to there, and then I'm just going to drag them to the container bin over there. And now I have forgotten this one. I'm also going to remove that. So now I have a color version without all the selections. So that's going to save up a lot of disk space. Now I'm going to use, in this case, I'm going to use Silver Efex Pro 2. You can also use, if you want to, and it doesn't make a lot of a difference, but you can also use, for example, Topaz to black and white, or any other black and white plugin that you have available, and to convert it to black and white in the way that you want it to have. But I'm going to use Silver Efex Pro 2 because that's something that I've always been using. So I'm going to first create a black and white neutral version. Now the Nik plugin has loaded, and you can see all the different presets over there on the left hand side. So this is something that I always use. You have the Silver Efex Pro 2 comes standard with the neutral preset, the underexposed preset, the overexposed preset, and if you would scroll down, then you would see many more presets from Silver Efex Pro 2. But this is what I always use. I always create the neutral version, the underexposed version, and the overexposed version using those presets that you see here. So first I'm going to start with the neutral preset. Click on neutral and then click OK. And now it's going to create a neutral black and white version of this image of the New York City skyline. So this is what Nik Software comes up with Silver Efex Pro 2. It has created the neutral version of the color image for me right now. And I'm going to click on Layers tab, and then going to right click, and then I'm going to flatten the image. And then I'm going to save it as, for example, New York City skyline black and white neutral. And then I'm going to do the same thing all over again for the underexposed version and for the overexposed version. And I'm going to save them as three separate files, the same as I did with the first neutral version. So in the end, I have one original color file with all the selections in there. I have three different black and white versions without the selections in there. And what I'm going to do with that is something that you're going to see in the next few sections of this tutorial.